Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to yet another edition of the Warriors SuperCast, the podcast for the Wintonwood School District, highlighting the superstars of the district. Welcome to summer, my favorite time of the year, not only because we get to take a little bit of a vacation, but on the podcast, we get to bring my favorite students in, the graduating class of the previous year, to find out what exactly was going on and how things have been since they've graduated from Winton Woods to their respective schools. I'm going to let them introduce themselves because it's a little more fun. We're going to say who they are and where they're going.
Hi guys, I'm Ari Christian. I attend Bowling Green State University and my major is Inclusive Early Childhood Education.
And hello, my name is William Simpson. I currently go to Otterbein University. And my major is right now mechanical engineering, but I am deciding if I want to switch to law or not.
Always making the last minute decision, right?
Always gotta keep your options open.
I agree. Let's take a trip back in time a little bit when you were first walking into Winton Woods High School as a freshman, thinking, what's going on with this thing called project-based learning? Let's take a look at and compare what you thought then to when you graduated. Ari, you want to start with that?
It was very new. I wasn't used to working with other people, I would say, and being responsible collectively for something, like someone else's grade determining mine as well. So that was very new. I had to definitely get used to it, but looking back at it, and then my senior year, I understood like why we were doing it, and I really think it was a great thing. And it was just something that I had to get used to. And senior year, I think I definitely got used to it. And at that point, I really saw the benefit of it, whereas my freshman year, I really didn't like it. If I can be honest, I didn't like it. I didn't like having to be responsible for other people and making sure they were doing their work as well and things like that. But looking back on it, I really do think it's helped me a lot, especially in college and things like that. So, yeah.
Will?
I remember my first time walking into it, and it was different, but I remember I took a class in 8th grade. It was called like Humanities. I think that's the name of it. And I remember they kind of said, well, the class to kind of get you prepared for anything like AGS would be, a whole bunch of projects and information and stuff like that. And that kind of helped me out a little bit, but I still kind of wasn't prepared for all of the focus on just groups, just constantly. Because I was the only person who would work on stuff a lot, like by myself. I'd sometimes get help from other people, but I wasn't necessarily like concerned with groups. And as my time in AGS kind of grew on and I got a little bit more into a project-based learning and all that, it just really showed out to be a really good way for me to learn other materials. And when it came down to that, to my senior year, I absolutely loved it. And I see that in college a lot now because a whole bunch of classes that I've been in, I've worked in a group in a whole lot of them. Even stuff like calculus, I was working in projects with other people. And that was kind of surprising to some people, but for me, I was like, okay, yeah, it's my element. I've done this before. And so it prepared me for some of the stuff I would see a lot in college, and especially a lot of the stuff that would just help me going on from there on.
You had both said that at the beginning of it there was a little bit of trepidation, and that makes sense because it's something new. But were you trying to hold on to that traditional method of learning? And do you see that traditional method still being held on? I mean, it sounds like at Otterbein it's not completely still traditional, but yet there's still the same elements of notes, lecture, test, etc. I don't know if it's at BG the same way, but would you say that you were trying to hold on to that traditional method?
I wouldn't say trying to hold on per se, but I was trying to adjust.
Okay.
If, like, for lack of better words, but it was just something that I had to snap right into. I don't really think I even had time to even think about traditional anymore because it was just what it was, you know? Mm-hmm. But, yeah, in Bowling Green, we do the same thing. I've worked in so many projects and things like that, and there are so many people who don't know how to work in group projects, which is really surprising, especially coming from Winton Woods. You would think, okay, this is just normal for everyone. But there are people who really don't know, you know, so I'm grateful that I did have to adjust so quickly and that I did get the experience.
You've already touched a little bit upon being in classes with with projects and with groups. Would you say that that's definitely going to continue throughout your time at Otterbein, or are you trying to adapt it for yourself in a different means? Maybe not obviously getting together as a group to do a project, but finding those instances where this worked at Winton Woods or this didn't work at Winton Woods, and it kind of became part of your learning method.
I'm kind of more on that last one. It's kind of like it came from more of where the style of it pushed in Audubon, like a whole bunch of learning and projects. Like that's kind of not only pushed, but it happens, and I see it a lot. And also, I kind of take from my experiences at Winton Woods, and I kind of further them on from there. And like stuff that I know work in projects or stuff that I knew that wouldn't work in projects, I just kind of used that. And then I just kind of made sure to make the best of every project I've worked in since then.
That makes sense. Sure. You are listening and watching the Warrior Supercast here on Waycross Community Media. I am joined with Will and Ari, students of the class of 2017 of Winton Woods High School. Going back to the idea of finally getting it, you both said it clicked. It made sense. Would you be able to go, as you're in your college today, go back and say, I can't work in groups anymore. I need that group interaction. I need that understanding of, as you said, Ari, worried about other people's work. And Will, I think you were more leaning more towards just the collaborative effort itself. Would you say that that's never going to go out for you now?
Yeah, for sure. It's something that I always use. Like even if it's not in group projects, I think that it's definitely helped me even with like communication, time management, and just skills like that I didn't really have before. Not that I didn't have, but I wasn't really working with those before because it was just an individual thing. It was just like I could get it done whenever I wanted to get it done. But yeah, I still use those qualities today, like even if it's not in group projects and things like that. I think that definitely strengthened those things for me.
Well, you are on the football team at Otterbein. Are you using those skills not only in the classroom, but on the field as well?
Oh yeah, everyone gets together. We all are a team, just like how on projects are a team. And so using those abilities of collaborating, the abilities of making sure that you can talk through issues, making sure that you do everything you can to be a part of the team and make sure that the team does everything they can to make the outcome the best that can be. All of that pretty much stems from like what the core of project-based learning is. And, project-based learning for me just kind of reinforced that and kind of just helped me build my own ways of being with teams and help the funding for me to just kind of understand a lot more when it comes down to just being a person who shares more ideas and a person who will also take in other ideas.
Ari had made mention that she was surprised to see that a lot of people aren't used to being in groups and being very siloed, so to speak. Would you feel that you felt the same way, or did you feel surprised that, well, they're working in groups, they seem to be collaborating well? Are you finding that it is a siloed adventure right now, and can you foresee it being more grouped?
Yeah, as of right now, I'm definitely seeing people who just do not know how to work in groups at all. And then on the other side, I've seen a lot of people who work in groups very well. So it really just depends on how they came through. And I do think that it's going to continue on as I go on my education because in the workforce, you're working groups all the time. So what's the better way to get you prepared for it than to push on through college?
Sure. Would you say that, like BG or Otterbein, is there anything that's uniquely core to them that screams, that's very Winton Woods to me? Is there something there that may have even drawn you to it due to your time with AGS?
I think I would say their educational program, like for me personally, because it is a lot of group work. And the people that you are with in the beginning are the same people that you will be with pretty much until you graduate. So when you work with them in groups, you see them like in your classes and things like that, and you know who they are. You know, like they're very familiar because you've worked with them in groups so much that it becomes like like a family thing. And I feel like that's one thing that I took from here as well. It's like when you work with different people and you're not forced to just work with one group, it really makes everyone familiar, and you get to meet with new people and things like that, like people that you would probably never even think about being friends with and things like that. It really gets you out of your comfort zone. So I would definitely say like the educational program for sure, because I've met so many people through that and just our group work and things like that.
Do you feel the same way, Will?
Oh yeah, the educational system I feel as if at Audubon really matches up with the one here at Winton Woods. And on top of that, what I also see is like that multicultural aspect in AGS, which I also see a lot in Audubon. Because when you're walking across campus, you see a whole bunch of like different faces and different people. And what the academy does is like it allows you to also learn stuff on a more global front. And so seeing all of that just kind of, it wasn't really new to me. It was just like, okay, yeah, it's like more familiar.
That makes sense, and that familiarity probably made the adjustment period from going high school to college, be it in the same state but far enough away,
Right.
to make you all feel comfortable to say, "Mom, Dad, I'm going to be okay."
Yeah.
And we all loved being able to say, "We're going to be okay," and especially
Yes.
getting out of the house. If you were able to talk to the graduating class of 2018 and to the respective class of 2019, what are things do you think that they should know going into, well, say to this, especially the class of 2019, going into their senior year? What are things they should look out for, and what are things that they should take with them to go further into their academic career?
Okay, well, for the class of 2019, just make sure you find a school that's fit for you. Because that is the most important thing. Because if you're looking at a whole bunch of different schools and you're looking to see like where you would most like to go, don't just look for the place closest to home or don't look for the place farthest away from home, but look at the place that actually speaks to you and what you want. For the class of 2018 and 2019, get used to making a schedule and staying to that schedule, because that will be very, very, very good, especially when it comes down to dealing with work and dealing with other outside things. Just making sure you get it all down. And also another thing to always do, which you should really be doing, is have a structure for your notes. Because I kind of learned that if you take notes and better notes as you go on and you kind of have more of a structure to them, that will help you a lot.
Yeah,
All right.
sure. That's good advice. I think the same thing as well. I think it's all on you, you know. I think the advice that I would give is just to take it serious, because every choice that you make is going to just affect you and only you. So I would say like getting into scholarships and really making sure that you're serious. Like the assemblies and things like that, I really never paid attention when they were like, it's going to go by really fast, you know.
Yeah.
I would just be like, oh yeah, okay, it's just another assembly. But the choices that you make are really going to affect you. Like the things that you do with scholarships, the things that you do with your money that last year, I mean, those things are really important. And I would say, like Will said too, like making sure you have a schedule, that you know how to manage your time, because when you get to college or when you go into the workforce, whatever you decide to do, it's really dependent. Like it's very serious for you to show up on time. It's very serious for you to have schedules and things like that. And that's just with life as well. So I think just being about you and making sure that every single decision that you make is going to benefit you.
And the final question, do you feel you made the right decision? Are you, as Will put it, I think you put it so eloquently, and I've said the same thing. If you haven't found the place that you want to call home, then you're not at the right school. Do you feel you've made that right choice?
Oh yeah, I feel like I made the right choice. I feel like I went there and the learning environment was good for me. The staff was good for me, not to mention I was able to surround myself with a whole bunch of great friends up there already. People from the football team, people from my dorms, people from around the campus. And, you know, if you could find an environment like that, you made the right choice. And I found something like that, so I believe I made the right choice.
Ari?
Same. I think I made the right choice for sure. I literally call my college home. Like my mom, I'll be like, okay, Mom, I'm going back home. And she'll be like, all right, that's not your home. This is your home. And I'm like, no, but if you really knew, like, I really enjoy school. Like, I miss school right now, and it's summertime, so that says something. So, yeah, I really feel like I made the right decision. I love BG. I wouldn't go anywhere else.
Like I said, I love this portion of the podcast because I get to hear these wonderful stories that are true and dear and absolutely why we do this podcast to show that, yes, these are the things that maybe the curriculum and the staff are all preparing to get together, but this is the outcome. Your transition and your journey is what really makes project-based learning and the Wintonwood School District shine so much. Well, Ari, thank you so much for sharing that story. And I also want to thank you as well. You have been listening and watching the Warrior Supercast here on Waycross Community Media. Have a great evening. We'll see you next time.
So you putting in effort. Are you ready for the new